Hi, welcome to another How to Draw. I'm Chuck Vollmer. I'm one of the concept artists here at Big Idea. And today we're going to draw Big Jim. So let's get started. Big Jim is basically a gourd, and he's kind of bell-shaped. So I'm just going to rough him out. And I draw fairly lightly as I'm blocking out the characters. So when you're using your crayons or your colored pencils, just kind of lightly sketch. You don't have to press real hard just yet. And it looks kind of loose and sloppy right now, but it's light. And as we get more details, then you can be a little darker and press a little harder. We're going to start out here with just basically, it looks like a bell. And we're going to start with the large shapes and get smaller. Start by indicating where his shirt starts. And that would be right here, just about where his neck is. And we're just going to go in here with a half circle like so. And then the next line, we're going to do a similar line to this down here. And this is going to indicate where his pants are. Again, I'm just lightly drawing. We'll put the nice dark details in later. The next shape we're going to put down would be his hair. And he's got kind of I think it's kind of a bob cut for his hair. Okay, now we're going to start putting some of his facial features in. And we're going to kind of put his nose in, kind of in the center of this area here that's his face. I'm just going to kind of put a nice circle here. And his eyes, we kind of find the center of his face, put his eyes in, and his eyes are kind of egg-shaped. And his hair is actually kind of down over his eyes a little bit. Again, his shapes are very similar to the outside of his eyes. We'll put in his pupils. Like so. And we'll come down and we can have him smile. A nice smile on his face. And Big Jim wears a hat. And it's kind of just basically a squashed tube. Pants that he wears, they're called lederhosen. And that's basically like leather shorts with suspenders. Put his suspenders on. It starts out kind of thin up here at the top, and it gets a little wider as it comes down. It finishes off in a kind of a point, and it's the same on this side. And we put the buttons on. Those are just circles. And then in the middle of his suspenders is a piece that kind of keeps them from sliding down. So we'll put a little bit of an arch here, and then there's a point kind of in the middle, so you can kind of make a little mark if you need to for a guide, and then we'll make a nice decorative shape for that piece in the middle of his shirt. And on his pants, he's got like a little decorative piece again, right here. And it has two small buttons. Now the shirt he's wearing, because he's kind of like a prisoner in the show, so he's wearing stripes. So we're going to put some stripes on his shirts. Doesn't really matter how many stripes. You can put as many as you'd like. He also has freckles, 3 on each side, 3 just little circles. And in his hair, he's got just a little bit of a split where the hair kind of parts right here. So we'll put that in. You notice I'm starting to press just a little harder, starting to make my lines just a little darker now that we're getting everything roughed in. We've got the basic shapes put in, and we're just now starting to add some of the details. Add some stripes to his hat, like so. As you darken the lines, those soft lines you used as your kind of your guide and your roughing out your character, they're not as noticeable anymore now that you're darkening. That's why it's important when you start sketching to press lightly with your pencil or crayon. You don't need to push real hard at all. Now in his eyes, to kind of bring those alive, you put little highlights, and that basically it's just a little circle kind of off to one side. Doesn't matter which side you put them on, just a little circle. And then you can fill in the eye with your pencil, fill in his pupils. And you've got those little light circles as highlights. And that really gives him a little bit more personality and brings a little bit more life to him. Going just back right now and darkening up some of our construction lines that we put in. There we go. Now on his suspenders, on his lederhosen, they have little flowers, decorative flowers. You can kind of have fun with this. You can add flowers, you can add other things if you'd like. All right, I think we're just about done with the line work. All right, let's stop here and we'll let everyone catch up and we'll go ahead and start coloring them in. All right, let's color them in. Picked out a few crayons here to help me color them in. Jim is a gourd, so we're going to kind of color him in with a yellow, kind of a yellow-brown color for his skin. Color him in like so. If you want, we can go in with just a slightly darker color, and you can bring out his freckles if you'd like. It's a little extra. Now his hair, he's blonde, so we're just going to use some yellow. Hopefully it's different enough from his skin tone. Since his hair is so close to his skin, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a slightly darker color, another dark yellow-brown, and I'm just going to go over his skin color with that color. And you can do this with a lot of different colors. You just blend it in. You can get some really neat effects doing this. And this darkens up his skin a little bit and helps his hair stand out. Yeah, that works a little bit better. Now his hat and his shirt are black and white stripes. You can use black or you can use gray, because in the show it's kind of faded, his outfit, because he's worn it a long time. So I'm going to use gray instead of black. The hat. Start on his shirt now. I always start with the top stripe along his neck first with the gray. And that helps me get the stripes in the right order. All right, we got his shirt done. Now we're going to do his pants. His pants are a brown leather. And I'm going to start out with this color. And I may go back with a slightly darker color in places just to give it a little variety. Go around his buttons. We'll make those brass if we want. And if you want to, you feel free to leave the flowers white, or you can make them a color, any color you want to make it more decorative. Kind of use your own artistic license on that. Color in this centerpiece. Again, with this centerpiece, feel free to decorate that as well if you'd like. going to go back in with a little bit of a darker color and just make the bottom of his shorts a little bit darker. It kind of helps ground him, make him feel like he's actually sitting on the ground. Feels like a little bit of a shadow. You can do that in other places. Darkening his mouth a little bit. Show off his nice smile. Darkening his eyes. And I'm going to decorate his suspenders just a little bit here. Put a little bit of green in there. Make that look a little nicer. And I think we've got it. I think this looks pretty good. I hope you had a good time, and hope to see you next time.